Obviously, this is a whiteboard. Here's a washable marker. This is one method to practice your scroll drawing. Special tools are not needed. You should always be drawing, drawing, drawing. Draw watching television. Draw on napkins in a restaurant. Draw everywhere. So it's difficult to draw scroll patterns. So you have to spend a little time on it. For practice. And this is using the dot method. I hope you can see the dots. Just dots. Don't ask me why this works, I don't know. Then I'm going to change my dots into an outline. This is how they teach scroll drawing in Italy. So notice how the width decreases. Here we'll draw what we don't want. Here's a flat. Not good. Here's a bump. Not good. Another flat. No, not good. Do you see how this decreases with regularity? Now we can draw some interior leaves. Let's keep it simple. We can get fancier as time moves on. I want to make a negative space equal. As equal as possible. This is the negative space here. This is negative space. This is negative space. I'm going to add shading. First I add a lifeline if I want. That carries the water. So that's a pretty good scroll pattern, or a scroll. Now, what if we want to expand? Let's get rid of our crutch, our little circle. Eventually, you won't need to circle with more practice. The scroll, to extend, so we have different types of areas that we have to fill with a scroll pattern. Whatever. So let's say this is a barrel wedge or some other wedge shape. The scroll is emanating off from this main scroll, is always going to be flowing in the opposite direction. Going the opposite way. Now let's add some more lifelines. And we have to have a little gap here for the scroll back. We can't have it coming in to meet. We have to have a scroll back. Also, here's another big mistake you can make. If you have a border, like this. You can also scribe a line so that you have a parallel. You can use dividers to do this on steel or silver. And your secondary line here is actually made up of leaves, like this. And then you can see how the shading stops right at that line. So all the shading will stop right at your line. So you're not cutting a border here like this. Cutting the border first like that, and then having the leaves come into the line that you cut. That's a big mistake. You want the leaves themselves to form the border and not coming into a line that you cut like this. Then the shading lines define the border. It makes it a little easier to get two parallel lines. And well, so now I can make more adjustments. I can start cleaning things up a little bit here, correcting any mistakes that I made. Then I can put in also more shading marks. Extending here and there. And more shading. More shading up here. More connections. So when you're watching the boob tube, or you're in a restaurant waiting for the waitress, or anywhere, everywhere, riding in the car, I guess that wouldn't work, bouncing around in the car, but maybe it would. You just keep on drawing. Keep your scroll back. And just draw and draw and draw and draw and draw. And you may get some other ideas yourself. You can also make intertwining scroll like this. You can have a, let's say, a scroll emanating from, let's see, you can have a scroll coming off here. It may be like this, having it go under this leaf, or this scroll, and over it. going right over it. Like so. So this way it's an intertwining, complicated arrangement. It makes the scroll more interesting that way. Now, you can see there's some problems here with this scroll. It's a little ragged the way I made it. But that's okay. When I'm engraving, I can just correct this. Doesn't have to be a perfect drawing. So anyway, that's one method of drawing scroll. There's a couple principles down in there that you need to remember. But you just keep drawing and practicing. And you'd be surprised how easily you can progress if you just relax and just draw. Also, this is the negative space here. And the negative space needs to be the same all around on the interior of the scroll. Here it isn't. So we can just make maybe another leaf in back of it. Like that. So then that negative space would be more equal. They're never going to be perfectly equal all the way around, but you can get pretty close. Here's more negative space. And this scroll has to originate from somewhere. So it would generally come down this way into another, into a border or some, you form a border of some kind. But in this case, it wouldn't be coming into a cut border. It'd be coming into a border that you create with your scroll. You have all that shading in there is going to make that line. So then you turn it around, turn it upside down, and you look for flats. I don't see any flats. Maybe there's a flat right here, and here's a bump. So that all has to be corrected before you make your cut. Sometimes when you engrave a lot, there's going to be a couple little mistakes there. But everybody makes them. I don't care how wonderful you may claim to be, but hiding your mistakes is important. But it's important that the overall work has a nice design. There's a little glitch here and there that's minor. Repeat, minor. It's not a big deal. That's it.